Welcome again to Open Range Real Estate Edition this week. As we do every week, once a week, we talk about real estate and we get into the issues that are important to people making probably the biggest decisions of their financial decisions of their personal lives. And so today we are going to be discussing, this is going to be a little bit of a branch off from last episode, a little bit of a segue. Our last episode we talked about the importance of referrals. And so the referrals, the reason why they're important is because you need to make sure you're going to have somebody you can trust to do the job right, and making sure that you are in good hands and that if there's a problem afterwards, there's someone going to help you. And so we brought on the show today a guest, Peter Galandri. And Peter, thank you for coming and joining us on the show here. Peter, your company name is Pete's Fencing Company.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Will.
Yeah. So, Peter, one of the things that I always get from my clients whenever they're talking about what they're looking for in a realtor, one of the first things they'll tell me is, and I'm snickering a little bit because it is so common, it's so important that it's just commonplace, is how important it is to find someone that you can trust in the business. So when someone's looking for a realtor, they are looking 100% who can you trust. And so to get to know you a little bit and to hear your story, I kind of wanted to let you tell the audience a little bit about kind of where you're from originally, your hometown, and you're not from North Dakota originally, and so I kind of want to hear your story about how you decided to come to North Dakota.
Yeah, absolutely. Originally, I was born and raised in a small farm town in Illinois, and grew up in a middle child of 7 kids, like just nice old school farming community. And really in that community was taught just take care of your neighbors and to get to know who they were, and kind of like you said, of like just really help build up your community. Which then my family actually ended up moving to Texas because of my father's job. And same thing, the South is similar to North Dakota in that like you care for your neighbors, you're proud of where you come from, but it's also not the easiest place to live, like say with weather or other things. Then eventually I did missionary work, which brought me up north, and where I met my now wife, Emily, and we actually ended up going to the University of Mary. And that's where I got to first experience Bismarck, North Dakota, and really just fell in love with the community and just, again, seeing things that reminded me of my hometown in Illinois and just those old school, those old school, like, what's the word?
Kind of connections and I mean, the way are you talking about like in your hometown? Yeah. I mean, the way that you guys did things more traditionally is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I love about your story a little bit is this constant theme, and this is something that we see as realtors in the Bismarck-Mandan area, is this constant growth that's happening at the University of Mary. And Mary used to be a lot more, I guess, local regional, and it's over the last decade or so with Monsignor's leadership has really transitioned into more of a college that's in a university that's seen across the country as orthodox, maybe more traditional, and has more of an identity that really stands out differently than, say, like your Notre Dame's, or that they may be Catholic, but there's a much stronger identity in terms of, I guess just to be frank, it's more of a conservative atmosphere, a more traditional atmosphere than you'll find in probably any other country, any of the other university across the country. And so it's kind of cool to hear your story because it jives with what I see and kind of the message that I've been trying to communicate as I've tried to help other people understand the dynamics of our I would say our cultural society, our community up here is the right word. That is a huge part of what's happening in our real estate picture. So cool to hear that that you came up here for that. I'll just take one step in. I know it's not about the fencing business that we want to talk a little bit about today, but what was that exactly what attracted you to University of Mary? Was there some other things that attracted you?
So one of the things that attracted me was actually I had a couple friends who came the year before me. So in a sense, it was them reaching out telling me like, hey, I think you'd really enjoy this. Like, It's authentically Catholic. It's authentically like everything we've talked about in future years. So similar to a referral where they said, hey, we've experienced this. We know, like, we've seen it for a full year and we think you'd love this, which then got me to come up and visit and yeah, got to experience what they did in a small way and decided to commit and yeah, really fell in love with the university.
And here's what's happening is that in Bismarck Mandan, this is definitely, and this is why this is an important topic for us, is that this is definitely something that's changing our community up here, and 100% for the better. The people that are staying are bringing their families, they're bringing their businesses, they're bringing their knowledge, and they're bringing something to add to our community, which I think is just so excellent and so great. So I'm glad to hear that. And so that's kind of the bigger picture of the show, is that we try to do is tell people where things are going in the trends, right? So cool to see that. I'm glad to hear that you're kind of bringing, you know, some values that I believe a lot of our people up here that live up here are looking for, and so that's awesome to hear. Tell us about currently your family, your life. I'm guessing you're married. I think you told me.
Yeah. So I'm married to my beautiful wife Emily, and we were blessed to have our first child a year and a half ago. His name's Giovanni.
Giovanni.
Yep. We live in Mandan right now, but yeah, we're at the point where we're just trying to keep up with him all the time now. So, well,
Giovanni Galandri.
Yep.
Galandri. That's awesome. Is your wife, does she work, or does she stay home with the baby? Or
so she stays home with Giovanni most of the time, but then she helps out with one of her good friends. They have a disabled daughter, so she helps out with her throughout the week and kind of helps them volunteer and helps her stay involved with the community.
Okay, well that's awesome. Let's talk a little bit about what got you started. So you went to University of Mary. I'm guessing it wasn't for the study of fence or defenses. Yep. How did that all transpire? And was University of Mary more of getting a good foundation in your life and being a bedrock, and then you decided to figure out what career you wanted? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I first came up to University of Mary, I was a business administration and Catholic studies double major. But within a year, COVID hit. And so the university shut down, and I was kind of put in an odd situation where it's like, okay, do I go home to Texas or do I stay up here and try and find a job? And eventually I actually ended up finding a job up here, which is with a local fence company, and really just started there. And then as the years went on, I kept the job all throughout college and really found, wow, I'm actually really good at fencing. It's something that I thoroughly enjoy. So it was one of the weird blessings that came from COVID, was really just brought me into an industry and into a whole group of people that I would not have met otherwise, and really kind of like essentially found, not to be cheesy, but to kind of found my calling of like what I wanted to pursue after college.
What was your major? What were you going into?
So I was a business administration and then Catholic studies.
Oh yeah, that business administration certainly fits well with this. You know, in terms of like COVID, did you see much? Was there more of an influx during that time, or was, I guess maybe there wasn't because there wasn't materials, or how was the fencing business affected? Yeah,
so in a weird way, it actually made the industry grow a lot, because what it forced is a lot of people decided to invest into their homes, and since obviously they're in their backyards a lot more, they said, what could make this better? And the first thing you do is normally put up a fence and give yourself that privacy, and also just like if you want to let the kids out, your animals out, anything like that, first thing you need is a fence. So for us, it really actually picked it up and really brought it to the forefront of people's minds. So from COVID on, it's really just, it's been on an upward trend and really hasn't slowed down.
So there's been been a pretty good strong growth over since COVID and after the time there. So then you did go to Texas for a little bit after that, right? Tell us about that.
So my wife is originally from Fargo-Moorhead, so grew up with winter her whole life.
Yep.
The last winter we had here, we almost broke the state record for snow, and she begged me. She said, "Please, can we go somewhere warm, just for at least a year?" So we ended up moving down south back near my family. Got to watch my youngest brother graduate high school and get involved with them, and actually started fencing down there.
Okay.
But the one thing, we were there for about 2 years, and what really brought us back is we really missed the community. The community. To a degree, the weather, because obviously the winter can get long, but we really loved the summers here, springs, falls, and even chunks of the winter. And just seeing the opportunity of being able to get back into an industry that I know very, very well, we decided it was best for our family to move back to community that's just more conducive for young kids and Yeah, just an area
Yeah,
that we really
yeah.
enjoy.
Yeah, it's a very. I know that the winters are harsh, and I get that, and we all get that. But man, there is nothing like summer up here. There's nothing, even spring and fall, just incredibly beautiful, just wonderful temperatures that I think it's enough charm to make people want to stay. And I always, I always thought when I'd heard when I was a kid, they talked about snowbirds, and I hear this constant referring to people, coming and living here and then flying back, and I always thought, well, shoot, if it's that good somewhere else, why don't they just stay there? I mean, because this was happening. I mean, I know that people come back for their kids and for their family. I understand that, but I think I'm truly getting to understand and appreciate the weather here is actually more of a blessing than a curse. 2/3 of the year is actually better here than I think anywhere. I was just watching the news a couple days ago, recently, about the Trump visit, and I was hearing some of the national media talk about how beautiful the weather was, and he said, it's sweltering on the East Coast, and they said, and then it's not too humid, and I'm kind of smiling because I'm like, yeah, it's never really too humid around here. I mean, it can get humid, don't get me wrong, but I mean, it's more of the exception than the rule as opposed to compared to, say, the East Coast. So, yes, glad to have you back. Glad the weather didn't totally push you away. And we're going to be back after the break here to talk a little bit more about Peter Galandri with Pete's Fencing Company. Back.
Stop out to our facility, Highway 22 South. Let us build a truck for you.
Find relief for what ails you at Steep Me Tea Apothecary. Teas, supplements, tinctures, and more. Formulated to fight whatever has you down. We're Bismarck Mandan's favorite place to find delicious, natural, and easy ways to alleviate symptoms brought on by anything from colds to cancer. Brew a better you at Steep Me Tea Apothecary. Steep Me products may cause side effects, including but not limited to improved mood, deeper sleep, enhanced hydration, renewed sense of smell, increased energy levels, superior balance, boosted immunity, proper digestion, restored sense of calm, and a delightful smelling home.
Welcome to Arrowhead Cleaners. Newly renovated, modernized, and ready to make your cleaning needs hassle-free. From commercial and residential wash and fold laundry services to the latest in professional dry cleaning techniques, we are dedicated to your unique needs, offering alterations, fabrications, and even custom hat making. So whether you're a busy professional, a family on the go, or even a rodeo champion, Arrowhead Cleaners is here to take your things from messed up to dressed up. Now celebrating our 64th year in Arrowhead Plaza.
Welcome to Radiant Retreat Tanning and Spa in Mandan, where a relaxing spa experience meets the latest in healing innovations. Take total control of your massage in our Hydro Massage Bed. Experience whole body healing in our Zero Body Cryo Bed. Let our Salt Sauna and Halo Generator restore your respiratory and skin health. And of course, tailored tanning will keep you looking as good as you feel. Discover your best self at Radiant Retreat, 1307 First Street Northeast, Mandan.
Are you dealing with arthritis, nerve and back pain, dry skin, or superficial wounds, but found no relief? Give Stewart's Natural Health a try. For over 4 decades, Stewart's Natural Health has been helping people and animals with herbal and natural oil lotions, ointments, and creams with a mission to help you relieve pain and feel your best using the power of nature. Discover the safe, drug-free solution to your pain, guaranteed or your money back. Visit stewartsnatural.health today.
West River Equipment of Mandan is here to help you maintain peak productivity in your operation. As an authorized dealer for many high-quality equipment lines, we have the new and used equipment it takes to make your farming, ranching, or construction operation profitable and efficient. West River Equipment also has the parts on hand and the experienced technicians in our shop to get your equipment back in action fast. Find what you need at West River Equipment on Old Red Trail in Mandan.
Welcome back again to Open Range Real Estate Edition. I am your host again, Will Gardner, Century 21 Morrison Realty. I am the broker associate there. We are talking about fences today, defenses. Good fences make good neighbors, and so we have Peter Galandri here to talk to us a little bit more. We talked a little bit about your past, Peter, and kind of how that's formed you into where you're at today, and you're great having you, knowing that you've attended University of Mary locally and been able to, even though from a state, kind of how you got acclimated to our area, and so that's a great story. I was going to ask you now about to talk to you about this idea of good fences make good neighbors. Now, I don't have a fence in my, well, I shouldn't say that. I do have a fence in my yard, just to keep our dog corralled. But lots of people have different reasons for buying fences, and so why do people buy fences? Like maybe what are the top, I'll say top 5, but if you can only get to a couple, that's fine. What are the main reasons why you see people buy fences?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first and foremost is privacy, especially with all the newer neighborhoods. Like just the lots normally aren't nearly as big as kind of they used to be. So normally for the first thing someone says is, oh, we just want a little bit more privacy, whether they have a hot tub in their backyard or they just want to hang out without feeling watched. The first and foremost, yeah, really is that privacy aspect. I would say the second one would be their animals. Animals and their children is like, they want to be able to open up their back door, let them run around and not worry, hey, like, can my kid get out? Or, oh, my dog's going to be running down the street. We've even built a couple fences for cat homeowners, which is always entertaining. But yeah, it's like you always want to have that peace of mind of having your kids and your animals safe. I would say the third one is property value, and that's where vinyl fencing is. The longevity of them is so long as it actually becomes a selling point of, hey, this vinyl fence is going to last for another 20, 30 years, and it's going to look the same. Whereas with wood fencing, you have to more upkeep, things like that.
Yeah. Do people ever use fences for, say, an area to protect their stuff? Like if they just need a shelter to put stuff in, or something that's unsightly, like they're not necessarily needing it for their own privacy, they just don't want people to look at it. Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in residential areas, a lot of people will actually want just one section of fence to put their trash cans behind. Or sometimes they'll build just a small L, around a hot tub or around a grilling area where they just want to block the wind from when they're on their back patio.
Now, this is maybe a little bit of a catch-22 question here, but or maybe more of an opinion. But I'll go into a neighborhood, and sometimes I'll see people, they'll have it wide open, and I'll feel a little uncomfortable. Uncomfortable meaning like not knowing where your boundaries are, right? Like just knowing where like where I can go, where I can't go, and maybe to the benefit of your next door neighbor that you feel like, oh shoot, maybe I'm treading on their space. Do you get that with people? Do they ever mention that, or is that just a Will Gardner invention in my head?
No, I absolutely think it's something people talk about, especially too where I see it a lot is especially when, say, two homeowners have lived next to each other for 10, 15 years and one's moving for whatever reason, whether it's downsizing or moving closer to their children, and you don't know who's coming in next, or they're like, we've had a great relationship, and we know where the property line is and who mows what side of the grass, but a lot of times some homeowners will say, you know what, I just want this here just so we're on the same page and like boundaries are set. Not in a negative way, but just so it's like, this is my property and the other side is the other one. Yeah.
I believe, I want to talk a few things about kind of rules and regulations. So 6 feet is the limit, right? That's the height, and so.
Yeah, so some folks do like to have 7 or 8 foot fences. However, to get that, you have to go through, it's a process of permits and approval through the city.
Oh, okay.
But that 99% of the fences we put up are 6 feet and below.
Okay. I did not know that. So there are people that don't go, I mean, I am on Planning and Zoning Commission. I think, I don't know if that would go through planning, or is that done through the commission process, or is that, do you know, have you done that before?
So it's pretty rare. So normally we call the city and we kind of like help them guide us through the process because it is so rare.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting. You know, one thing that I've heard too is that, you know, or I've seen when people want to cheat the rule, is they'll put up a large bush. Now that takes like, then you can go a little higher, but then you're dealing with, I mean, you don't have that full security of say like a vinyl fence, and I think security is, I know that wasn't necessarily, I mean, privacy is part of it, but security is going to like a different benefit, a different aspect of it that that really people I mean, security is kind of all embedded into these, but it's really, I think people feel like they can trust and they can, the area around them. I want to talk a little bit about buyers' expectations. So when you get a new customer, a new client that comes in and they're wondering what you do, what it looks like, do you see people have concerns about quality when they're starting off? Do you think is that their biggest concern that they have in the expectations?
Yeah, absolutely. The first and foremost, when I talk to the customer, communication is huge for them, because normally the story that you hear a lot is, oh, we had one contractor say this, and then by the end of the job or in a couple of years, well, that's not actually what happened. So whether that's quality, whether that's how long the project took to take, communicating with them from the beginning of what realistic expectations are, but then also what potential issues they have with their yard and their fence, and and directing them to a product that actually meets their expectations.
So you sell vinyl fence, you install vinyl fence, and I'm guessing gates that go with it as well.
Yes, sir.
Do you do do you guys do doggy doors or stuff like that, or is that mostly just to go in the house? Or
so there's normally we don't necessarily specialize in dog doors or anything like that.
Yeah.
We do have over 50 styles of vinyl and aluminum fences. So normally between those 50 options, we can kind of tailor a project to custom fit a person's home. We've even installed those little clear globes in the fence so dogs or animals can look through the fence.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk installation. So I'm guessing that you don't just sit on a desk with your white collar on and put your feet up, and you're part of the process.
Yes, sir. Yeah, every single
You're
job.
the owner, right? You're the owner.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm the owner, and every job I'm on it from start to finish to just ensure quality, and again, be there to talk to the customers. So if they have any questions at any point, we can answer that for them.
Yeah. That's really important to me because if I know, I think a lot of people they do, when you can see an owner involved in your project. I mean, their reputation is on the line, their whole business is on the line, and they feel the heat of the problem, right? And and you're also getting someone that's also knowledgeable about all the products, and so I think that's a huge benefit, Peter, of what you bring. You have people that also help you too. You're not
correct. Yeah,
doing this alone.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we've crew about 3 or 4 people. So depending on the size of the project, you might see all of us there, or you might see us broken up into 2 different groups and kind of doing multiple projects at once.
Yeah. By the way, and we got to still have about a minute or so here, a couple minutes. Why don't you throw out your website for people to, or do you have a website yet? Or,
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, so easiest way to find us is www.petesfence.com, as well as you can find us on Facebook. We update that weekly with projects that we're recently doing or any sales or promotions as well. And that's at just Pete's Fence Company on Facebook.
So let's go and talk. I also want to talk about the difference between the 2 products you talked about. So vinyl and aluminum are the 2. Talk about which one you guide people to depending on certain situations.
For the most part, I guide them towards vinyl because you just have more options of full privacy and semi-privacy, where aluminum's just semi-privacy, so you can look through it. Reason why we offer that is a lot of HOAs, they only allow that type of fence.
Okay.
So, and we can also do combinations where if people want to have privacy on the sides, but they want to keep their view, we do vinyl on the sides and then aluminum in the back. So it just offers a lot more options for people to really tailor the fence to their yard.
Okay, and I apologize, we don't have visuals here, but white vinyl, I think that one's pretty easy. Aluminum, are you talking about rails or what is?
So they look like black metal bars, so it looks like wrought iron.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So those go up. Yeah, and those are, like you said, semi-private. Yeah, there you go. Excellent. Look at our producer, isn't he awesome? Thanks, Luke. Yeah, there you go. That's similar to what you installed too. Yeah, those aren't necessarily Pete's, but they're just ones that you found.
3 of those I think actually are.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, awesome. Perfect. Oh, that's his website. Perfect coordination. Yeah. So, yeah, vinyl fencing. And yeah, the semi-privacy, of course, you're kind of getting some benefit out of it, with, and yet you're still able to, some privacy benefits, some security benefits for sure. Security, not so much privacy, I guess. Privacy in the fact that no one else can run on your land.
Right.
But if you're out in the sunbathing out there, yeah, that's going to be what it is. So, if you have you ever done? So you mentioned that you do some that are higher than 6 foot. So how does that work? If I know that sounds like a pretty rare case, but how is there a product that goes taller, or is it like an add-on that you put on?
So the only product that goes that high is vinyl fencing, and the way we install it is it's actually like you take 2 6-foot sections, and they're designed that instead of having one solid block of 6 feet, you then have 3-foot sections or 4-foot sections, depending on how tall you want to go.
Okay.
The intimidating thing with those fences, we put 50% of the post in the ground. So if you have an 8-foot fence, we have to put 4 feet into the ground. So, because our biggest thing is quality and making sure that this fence is going to last. So that's also what deters people is you get into a whole set of regulations when you go that deep into the ground.
Yeah. Wondering about do you guys warrant what you do, like have warranty? How long does that last and what does that cover?
Yeah, so we have 2 different warranties. The shortest one is a 1-year workmanship warranty. So over the first year is when you see the most settling. So if the fence starts leaning, the gate's sagging, call us back and free of charge we fix it. After that, we offer a limited lifetime warranty, which essentially covers everything from fading. If the fence gets blown over due to the wind, that fence is completely covered. The reason why we have to say limited is if someone drives a car through it, we obviously won't cover that.
You're right.
Which has happened. But yeah, so we want to make sure that when our customers invest the money into these quality fences, that they know that they're covered and they're getting a fence to last.
Yeah. Well, that sounds great, Pete. We're going to be back at the break here, and when we come back, we're going to talk about, in our final segment, the future of the company and where he sees things going.
Base Flug Trailers of Dickinson is a family-owned dealer with expert staff that know their products front to back. We stock over 150 units of all types and can custom order a trailer with the unique features and capabilities you require for brands you can trust. Our experienced service team is the reason we're also the best place to have your trailer customized or repaired. Count on Base Flug Trailers of Dickinson to keep you hauling.
Come on in and experience small-town hospitality and the personalized care that makes car buying a pleasure.
We know that every journey starts with the right car. Whether it's school drop-off, weekend road trips, or your daily commute, we have the right vehicle for you and your family.
With trusted brands, affordable prices, and a team that treats you like family, finding your next car has never been so easy.
We pride ourselves on personal attention and quality service. Bassett Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Yeah, U.S. Cattlemen is a member organization that each member has a vote in anything we do with policy. We're representing the independent cattleman or the cow-calf guy or an independent feeder or whatever. We like to support the independent producer. We're talking about mandatory ID, we're talking about COOL, we're talking about all the legislation that's going to be coming down with the new administration. There's going to be lots of moving and shaking. So always check us out at our website, uscattleman.org.
We're talking to people today about investments. Let's see if we can get somebody. Excuse me, sir. Do you have a retirement account?
I do. I'm invested in some annuities.
Fixed income? How is that?
It was better a few years ago. Each year, it buys less and less, barely keeping up.
That's where gold can make a difference. Unlike fixed payouts, gold rises with inflation, so you're not stuck with a low fixed payment.
So gold isn't stuck in the past like my annuity?
Don't let inflation erode your retirement savings. Invest in gold. Invest with Noble Gold Investments.
I'm $27,000 in credit card debt.
Okay.
You have to radically do something different, because if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting.
Now's not the time to be doing math. The time to be doing math was when we didn't go into $200,000 of debt.
If you are freaked out and you're stuck in these debt payments and you think it has to be a part of your life, it doesn't.
We are ladies of another view. Join us every weekday morning at 9 o'clock a.m. as we discuss the big topics from North Dakota, the nation, and around the world.
We chat with everyone from celebrities and medical professionals to politicians, local business owners, and neighbors about the topics and stories that affect all of us.
We are unscripted and uncensored real news from real people. So join us every weekday morning for Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Welcome back again to our final segment of Open Range Real Estate Edition for the week. Will Gardner, Century 21 Morrison Realty, your host, broker associate. And we are, of course, diving into fencing issues. We are talking about the first defense of your property. See what I did there? Pete. So we are going to ask you a little bit of, get into some questions about, we're going to try to be a little funny here. Talk about maybe some stories that you've had during installation. I'm just kind of curious what you could tell us in terms of, have you had anything abnormal come in when you've been putting up fence?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one unexpected joy of this industry is you really do just get to meet people on a whole different level because you are quite literally working in their backyard. A recent customer that we had, which they're a great family to work with, and they really liked us a lot. And by the end of the project, we're hanging their gate. We noticed that there's trash bags next to the house. And we're sitting, we're like, what is in these trash bags? Because they weren't there, and the family's a very clean family. And as we're getting ready to leave, the homeowner comes out and says, hey, we got you guys a gift, and picks up the trash bags and hands it to us. And turns out it was about 30 pounds of rhubarb. So we're sitting there trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do with this rhubarb? But we're luckily my family makes good jam and things like that. So my wife was a little shocked when I walked into the house with just a big old bag, but it was put to good use.
That's awesome. And there was one story because I've hired, well, I haven't hired people myself, but I've a couple referrals that I've made, and that's why I brought him on the show because he's done a great job. Especially moving up here to North Dakota and the Bismarck area, sometimes you get the big fencing companies, and so I love the fact that you're flexible, of how flexible you are to get in when we need. As realtors, we are a month away from closing, we're weeks away from closing, and if something's not done or fixed or repaired, it can ruin a real estate transaction, which means that people have to go back and empty their stuff back into their house and take the U-Haul truck back and cancel the pizza and insurance. And it's hugely stressful for myself as a realtor, looking out for my clients. And so one of the things is flexibility that you have, especially as someone that I can just call up and say, Peter, whatever you can do, I need you there now to take care of a problem. And so that's kind of a important thing. So I have referred Peter a couple times in his company. There was one that the fence had melted. I guess there was some barbecuing that was going on. Yeah. Tell us about what happened there.
Yeah, so this very nice gentleman called me and said, I have an emergency. And long story short, he was grilling, as all good men do, and walked away, and the coals just got a little too close to the fence, and yep, he looked outside his window, and there's a lot of black smoke. We'll just put it shortly. And he really wanted to get it fixed before his neighbor came home from vacation, so he gave me a call. He said, is there any way you can come in and fix this? We gladly were able to shift things around, and got up there later that day to see what materials we needed, and got it fixed within a day and a half. And fence is brand new, couldn't even tell anything happened, but life comes at you fast, so we like to be able to respond to customers whenever we can.
Yeah, that was awesome. And part of it was that the neighbor was just a very, very meticulous perfectionist, and just didn't want heartache, didn't want the neighbor to have heartache or heartburn over it. And so it was a timing thing. It wasn't necessarily about closing. It was about making sure that the neighbor just didn't have to worry. And I thought it was very classy by my client who had just had recently purchased it, wanted to smooth things over and take care of things, and not because sometimes people can just worry just out of anything can be a worry, and or it'll set them into a tailspin. And so that was very cool. I think there was even one of the end caps what happened with the end cap of one of the...
Yeah, so one of the end caps ended up getting singed up the whole side, and they're nice solar caps, so we ended up having to figure out kind of moving things around so that the correct solar caps were in the right spots.
So making everyone happy, not just the client but the neighbor. Did you have another story about the police officer?
Yeah, absolutely. So As we kind of said before, is like good fences make good neighbors. Is again, you never really know who you're going to interact with, and kind of the history between neighbors. And there's one yard particularly that always stands out because it was the first time we had the police called on us, and we were sitting there just going through our normal process of finding property pins and getting set up for the job. And this police officer walked up, and we're like, "Oh, officer, like, what can we do for you?" And he said, "Well, he's like, I've been sent out because I was told that you guys aren't allowed on this woman's property. So I'll be watching the property line to make sure no one takes a step over." So for the course of 2 days, we were watched to make sure that we didn't cross the property pin by even 1 foot, which it was all good and fun. Like the officer was a great gentleman. Yeah. But yeah, it was one of those things where it's like, okay, I understand why we want to have this boundary and this fence put up.
Wow. So can you put the fence on the boundary, or it has to be inside the line? It can't be on the line. Is that correct?
Correct. So the only way that you can put it on the property line is if both homeowners agree.
Yeah. Okay.
But even then, what we always tell folks is the entire fence and the concrete footings we want on one side of the property line, just in case someone moves. Then someone assumes ownership.
Yeah. Right.
So we always come in about 3 inches from the property line. So again, the entire fence and the concrete footing below the fence or below the ground is all on one side.
Yeah. Well, and we appreciate that too as realtors and as people that are going to potentially buying or selling, to just know exactly who's responsible for that and taking care of that. How much of what you do is repair work versus new construction?
So I would say right now it's about 60% repair work. Whether that's an old fence falling down, whether it's a storm coming in, or it's someone having an issue just with their fence previously where the gate's sagging or things like that. However, with the growth of Bismarck, we are starting to shift. Like those numbers are getting closer to 50-50 just because of that of the growth of our town.
Yeah. And is that where you want to be? I mean, I want to talk a little bit more about like where you see yourself. I'm guessing, do you want to get more into a lot more of the new construction stuff? Is that where if you were to have, let me not put words in your mouth.
Yeah.
Where do you see your company going in the next 10, 15 years?
Yeah, absolutely. We always want to be a resource to customers. If you have an existing fence or neighborhoods that have been here for a long time, because obviously that's what built Bismarck, and we don't want to just leave them for new builds. However, as more neighborhoods are constructed, we also want to be able to service them as well. One of the reason being is when you build a fence, and it's easier to connect to your own material, and you know what you're dealing with, and you can genuinely tell customers, hey, this is the life expectancy of your fence, and you can fully say, this is how long your fence is going to last, or it's going to stand up to this wind perfectly fine, because you know the process of the fence from start to finish.
Talk about, I'm sure there's some DIYers out there, do-it-yourselfers out there that do fencing, or that they're probably going to do their own. Maybe, and that's probably just what they're going to do. And sometimes people just want to do it themselves. What are some tips that you can give people that are putting up a fence? Some things that you kind of consider that you do as part of your process to make sure. Things like finding the property boundary, finding pins. I could just see people just skipping some of those steps, right? And those are important. Are they like, yeah, I know where it's at, but they don't really truly do it. And some of those things that when you do that, then I almost think, well, that's why you have a professional, because they're not going to assume anything. They're coming at this from, and that's what you get when you get a professional. You just get someone that's going to do it from step A, B, C, and D, and not leave anything out based on assumption. But tell us some of the things that you see problematic when people do their own DIY fences.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, like I said, the first and foremost is property pins. A lot of customers, they're like, oh, well, my property line has been here, so I'm just going to put the fence there. Well, come to find out years later, oh, this is actually either too far into your own yard and you're losing footage, or it's too far into your neighbors and you're technically taking footage.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, find your property pins. The next one is actually the depth of the holes. A lot of when we repair have to tear out a fence that a homeowner put up themselves is they didn't go deep enough, and that's what causes frost heave. We always recommend to go at least 3 feet into the ground because it gets below the frost line, and then your fence won't heave over the winter. It also helps give it strength against just the strong winds that we deal with pretty consistently throughout the year. So I would say those are the two biggest issues that we find with homeowners. is I was like, they either don't go deep enough or they don't put enough concrete in the hole as well.
Yeah.
Like I said, 3 feet, and then you'd have a 3-foot footing as well.
Yeah. Well, and like I kind of laugh at this adage is more of a phrase that I saw a sign once. I think I mentioned in the show that they had the cost of what it costs to hire somebody, and then he had $100 if you asked me to do it, $150 if you want to help, and then $200 an hour if I have to come back and fix what you just put in. Just one of the other things I was going to mention is that I wanted to hear some of your greatest stories that you've had or greatest success stories that you've had in your business.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the greatest success stories that I've been able to encounter is really with growing families that really just want a safe spot for their children, especially too when budgets are tight, because like coming from a large family, I understand kids are expensive.
Yeah.
And while you don't want to while we don't skimp on quality at all, normally there's a family we helped earlier this year where they couldn't just put all the funds together, so we figured out a payment plan that was interest-free for them, and they were able to get just like a fence that, again, secured their backyard so they could have their 4 or 5 kids play around with their dogs, and just seeing the relief in their eyes and knowing, okay, we have this little sanctuary in the backyard that we know our kids are safe, they can't get out. And then just go and enjoy the outside with worry-free for the parents.
Yeah, and we only got a few more seconds left. Compared to other big, one of the things I think is great about you is that like the turnaround time. How quick can you get your product?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of our biggest advantages is our flexibility with getting custom material in. Right now we're scheduling 2 weeks in advance, and that's from start to finish. So if you put a deposit down, within 2 weeks you'll have a brand new fence sitting in your backyard.
Wow.
Which is one of our greatest strengths with that is just being able to respond.
Yeah, because a lot of the other bigger stores, they just really have a lot of time. They need to have a lot of lead time. So great to have that flexibility. Thanks, Pete, for being on the show, and thanks for everyone for joining. We will see you next week again on Open Range Real Estate Edition.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the loose. I want to tell you, Lady Blue and I, we got a lot of miles together, but you know what? You and I got a lot of miles together as well. And all I want to do is bring to you the information on how we maintain a domestic supply of food and fuel for future generations. So I'm going to continue to travel the world and unearth the stories that make it possible that we can live in a free United States of America.
Welcome to Arrowhead Cleaners. Newly renovated, modernized, and ready to make your cleaning needs hassle-free. From commercial and residential wash and fold laundry services to the latest in professional dry cleaning techniques, we are dedicated to your unique needs, offering alterations, fabrications, and even custom hat making. So whether you're a busy professional, a family on the go, or even a rodeo champion, Arrowhead Cleaners is here to take your things from messed up to dressed up. Now celebrating our 64th year in Arrowhead Plaza. Are you dealing with arthritis, nerve and back pain, dry skin, or superficial wounds, but found no relief? Give Stewart's Natural Health a try. For over 4 decades, Stewart's Natural Health has been helping people and animals with herbal and natural oil lotions, ointments, and creams with a mission to help you relieve pain and feel your best using the power of nature. Discover the safe, drug-free solution to your pain, guaranteed or your money back. Visit stewartsnatural.health today.
We are the St. Mary Sisters. We are building a new facility here in Bismarck, North Dakota, for the sake of training young women to be courageous teachers in this state. The sisters will educate the younger generation to be fully alive through truth and discipline. The sisters' life of devotion and joy will make a positive difference in your community. Check out what we're up to, see what's going on, and join our mission to make a difference in the lives of the children of North Dakota.
Ashley, North Dakota is where life moves a little slower, but never gets dull. From hunting, camping, and fishing to safe streets where kids can be kids, this is the best of small town living. And Ashley offers everything you need, from healthcare to hardware to countless ways to stay active. Here, we've invested in our future with major upgrades to roads, parks, and education. Whether you're here for the day or here for life, you'll find Ashley's where you ought to be.
There's never been a better time to rediscover the style, reliability, and all-season, all-terrain fun of the all-new Nissan lineup at the new and improved Ryan Nissan. Whether it's the sleek and stylish Murano, the adventure-ready Pathfinder, or the reimagined, ready-for-anything 2026 Rogue, the all-new Ryan Nissan has the vehicle of your dreams at a price perfect for any budget. It's time to rediscover your passion for the road. It's time to rediscover the all-new Ryan Nissan, engineered to endure.
Walking into an event dedicated to showcasing the newest technology, there are a lot of companies that you might expect to see. Even though it's year 8 for John Deere, it's a surprise for many to see a massive combine next to the various gadgets and appliances booths. But John Deere is doing some incredible things with predictive ground speed automation. I'm catching up with Julian Sanchez to see how they're using satellites and high-speed cameras to automate the machine's settings in real time for harvesting the crop as it goes along. Check this out. This is the Tech Ranch.
Julian Sanchez. I'm the manager of combine engineering at John Deere. So I'm responsible for combines globally and all the technology that goes on them. We're back this year at CES for our eighth year in a row, I believe. And what we're highlighting this year is combine technology. There's 2 technologies in particular that we released in the last few months. One, it helps the combine maximize its productivity as it's going through the field. So it uses a pair of stereo cameras in front of the combine that look about 8 meters ahead. And it combines that with satellite imagery that was taken maybe 4 or 5 weeks before that. And it tries to predict how much crop there is ahead of it, so that when the combine gets to that crop, it's going at the fastest possible speed that it can, and it's configured already for the crop that it's about to encounter. Right? That's one of the hardest things to do in a combine is combines like to have their belly full of crop. And so that's when they're at their best. And so that's what the system allows it to do. It's called predicted ground speed automation. And then the second system that we've developed, one of the things that's hardest also in a combine is optimizing all of the internal components so that you can separate all of the crop from the grain, right? And it's a factory on wheels. So we've developed an algorithm that uses machine vision and artificial intelligence, and it basically optimizes all of those different parts inside the combine in real time to make sure that it's always keeping as much grain as possible and not damaging the grain as it goes through the field. So those are our 2 big releases this year in the global combine harvesting world.
So those are amazing advances. Just a couple of questions for you, Julian. What do you think the percentage of farmers now are using automation like what you have here? I mean, I still see farmers when I'm driving through the country that still are running old John Deeres. And then, of course, the very next field, they have the latest and greatest in technology. And I'm really interested in what the percentage of crop output is, the gains that they see when they use technology.
Yeah, let me start with that last part. With those 2 systems I described earlier, ground speed automation and harvest settings automation, we're seeing about a 20 to 30% productivity improvement per combine. And depending on the size of the farm, that can add up to be a full day or 2 where it saves you on harvest time, right? So we see that. We also see a benefit, or farmers really see a benefit there in terms of their access to labor. And what I mean by that is these systems are they behave like expert operators, and so they can assist a novice operator in performing like an expert operator. So it gives them that benefit as well. To your question of the adoption of technology in agriculture, many different types of farmers who are adopting a wide variety of technologies. I will point you to the fact that I would say great majority of farmers already use GPS guidance systems to help steer a lot of their vehicles and to help document, geospatially document what they're doing in a field so that later they can make more informed decisions about fertilizer, herbicides, and things like that. Okay? So that technology now has been in agriculture over 2 decades, and I would say it's broadly adopted. Even in older John Deere equipment, it's retrofittable so that it can be used. And then, of course, new technologies like the ones I just described before. Look, a farmer is running a business. So no matter the size of the farmer, if you can show them an ROI for any investment in technology, they will acquire it and they will use it and they will benefit from it. So we're seeing also a great adoption with this technology. I'll say the majority of farmers that buy a new combine are opting to get this technology on their vehicle.
So you mentioned satellites earlier. What other data do you receive from satellites that help you or help farmer?
So a couple of uses of satellite, actually. So of course we use GPS for steering and guidance. We're also using satellite imagery, and that helps the combine understand how much biomass exists in the crops so that it can optimize its speed. By the way, in the satellite world, we're also offering satellite connectivity now. And so we have a new product that we launched this year. So in rural areas where there's not a lot of cell connectivity, you now can have a connected machine basically all the time.
Okay, cool. Who would think that John Deere would be showing up at CES, right? But there's a lot of technology here. I'm looking at the crowd in here right now. Obviously, it's very, very well received. But did you have apprehension a little bit, maybe at the beginning when you first came here, how well John Deere would be received?
Yeah, 8 years ago, we wanted to come engage with the tech industry and tell the story of John Deere and of agriculture. And yeah, now we're a regular at the show. So actually the cool thing is that now when people approach our booth, at least half of the people that approach our booth, they remember the past years and they're like, okay, so 2 years ago, you showed me this. Last year, you showed me that. What do you got this year?
Yeah.
And that's a much more interesting conversation because you're building on it year over year.
And of course, this is not a farming group here. These are just a bunch of geeks that are hanging out. So I find it interesting that your booth is so well attended simply because people like myself who just want to see how we get food and the technology that goes behind that.
I am a certified John Deere geek as well. I love to geek out on technology.
There's a certification process.
Absolutely. We have the best geeks in the world. No, and I mean, we pride ourselves in also being part of the tech community, and so we embrace that. We embrace that brand, and we embrace these techie conversations.
I'm Marlo Anderson with the Tech Brands, reporting for Beck TV.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the loose. Join me on the trip and unearth the stories on how we maintain a domestic supply of food and fuel for future generations of American citizens like our forefathers did.
$27,000 in credit card debt.
You have to radically do something different because if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting.
Come on in and experience small town hospitality and the personalized care that makes car buying a pleasure.
We know that every journey starts with the right car. Whether it's school drop-off, weekend road trips, or your daily commute, we have the right vehicle for you and your family.
With trusted brands, affordable prices, and a team that treats you like family, finding your next car has never been so easy.
We pride ourselves on personal attention and quality service. The Set Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Hello, friends. This is Culture Crossroads. Join me, Andrew Southwick, and my co-hosts, R.C. Williams and Juliana Ormond, as we tackle the issues shaping America. From politics to pop culture, to faith, freedom, family, and the future. From a faith-based conservative perspective that you won't get anywhere else. We stand at the intersection of faith and freedom. This is Culture Crossroads. Culture Crossroads, Sundays at 5 p.m. Central on Beck TV.
Hi, I'm Scott Hinnon, host of the What's on Your Mind program on Beck TV now. From Baker, Montana to St. Cloud, Minnesota, and everywhere in between, we're looking forward to having a conversation with you about what matters most. We're talking to newsmakers, from members of Congress to the state legislature, and most importantly, the good folks that make up the great state of North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Montana. Every single day, you get a chance to tell us what's on your mind. And now you can watch What's on Your Mind live on Beck TV.
Welcome to Arrowhead Cleaners. Newly renovated, modernized, and ready to make your cleaning needs hassle-free. From commercial and residential wash and fold laundry services to the latest in professional dry cleaning techniques, we are dedicated to your unique needs, offering alterations, fabrications, and even custom hat making. So whether you're a busy professional, a family on the go, or even a rodeo champion, Arrowhead Cleaners is here to take your things from messed up to dressed up. Now celebrating our 64th year in Arrowhead Plaza.
Hey, I'm Corey Heppola, and a long time ago, I left my small town for a big city. Now, I wonder, what would it be like to move rural?
Just because we're small doesn't mean we can't have nice things.
So, I'm traveling to different small towns across the Midwest to find out.
It's like every year in the spring, there's always like a revitalization of just excitement.
This is my town.
Oh, jeez!
Sunday night, 6:30 on Beck TV.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the loose. I want to tell you, Lady Blue and I, we got a lot of miles together, but you know what? You and I got a lot of miles together as well. And all I want to do is bring to you the information on how we maintain a domestic supply of food and fuel for future generations. So I'm going to continue to travel the world and unearth the stories that make it possible that we can live in a free United States of America.
I'm $27,000 in credit card debt.
Okay.
You have to radically do something different, because if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting.
Now's not the time to be doing math. The time to be doing math was when we didn't go into $200,000 of debt.
If you are freaked out and you're stuck in these debt payments and you think it has to be a part of your life, it doesn't.
We are ladies of another view. Join us every weekday morning at 9 o'clock a.m. as we discuss the big topics from North Dakota, the nation, and around the world.
We chat with everyone from celebrities and medical professionals to politicians, local business owners, and neighbors about the topics and stories that affect all of us.
We are unscripted and uncensored real news from real people. So join us every weekday morning for Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Now you can have the personalized forecast at your fingertips when you need it. Beck's exclusive Weather Insight is information tailored to you. Radar, weather alerts, forecasts, and videos. Download the free Weather on Beck News app. Search your app store now.
Bye.